Hey, welcome, 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 everyone, to the Women's Empower Network. I am so excited that this afternoon to have Diana with us today. She's also been wearing two hats for us. Not only is she being an author in the book, and I feel very honored that she would, because this is not her first time, but she's also been our social media strategist. And so she's been very instrumental in helping us get the most out of this. So welcome, Diana.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Jenny.
And now I've given away a little bit about who and what you do, but if you want to go ahead and share some more about who you are and what you do.
Okay. So I am a conscious digital impact strategist, and I just took that title in about the last 6 months or so. And what it means is that I help people make a bigger digital impact, conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. And that's what I've been doing for the past 20 years. And what I do is I just love to see people get their message out. And as you know, my mission is to raise the consciousness of social media so that we can use social media to raise consciousness and elevate humanity. And so my clients, the people I work with, are people who are healing the world with who they are and or their businesses. And that's my passion.
And it's when I heard that quote, when you said that, I'm like, I have to have her.
You got me.
I know, I know, I do. I feel so honored and so blessed, and and it's just such a treat to be around like-minded people.
Yes.
You live in your little towns and you go to your grocery stores and your Walmarts, and not that there's anything wrong with anybody. Everybody is beautiful and playing their part in their role. But it's just nice to have somebody that, puts you at another level and have a more in-depth heart-to-heart conversation. So I really appreciate that about you.
Thank you. And I appreciate what you're doing and the community that you're growing and evolving because, it's people of like mind. And yeah, there's a lot of people in the world. And for us to be able to just, like, I have that image where we just click, you just feel that connection from the heart, and I love this community and I'm so grateful to have met you.
Thank you. It reminds me of a cruise I went on. I used to follow Abraham
Hmm.
um, Esther Hicks,
Uh-huh.
and she did a couple of, well, she does cruises different places around the world, but I went to the one in Alaska, and the ship held 2,500 people, but 800 of them were there together for to see Abraham talk. And when we're in the open ocean, we would have a workshop, and then they in the ship they divided it, the dining room, where all of us that were there for Abraham could sit in the same dining area. And there was just this certain level of camaraderie and level of trust and openness. That was a very different conversation than if you were talking to a stranger. And there was a certain vocabulary that we all understood.
Mhm.
So
Right.
after that, it was like, I don't want to travel any other way.
Right. And the energy, the vibration, you're all in a similar vibration. Yeah.
Yeah, 800 people. It really was a
Powerful.
treat. It
Yeah.
is. So let me ask you, what made you say yes to this opportunity to be in this book? Because obviously you've been in others.
Well, it's interesting because I had just written my own book, and my own book was very much about my business. And I wanted to start to make a transition into m- merging more of me and my business and how I help people. And I felt like writing this kind of a book, it was the first time I've really incorporated more of my own personal story. I mean, there's a little bit of my personal story in my solo book, but it's mostly channeling my inner geek. And what I feel that I loved about this book was being able to channel both my spiritual self and my inner geek, and bringing that out about how I came to do what I do. And also because of the state of the world right now, my I just feel like my message is more important than ever. And getting to be in a book like this where I could share, because I am truly that person that says if I can do it, anyone can. I am an introvert. I have struggled with being public, being visible, public speaking. I shared with you before we got on that I just did this talk for 300 women, and like with no notes and no PowerPoint, and I haven't done an in-person talk in like since before the pandemic, and it was unnerving and transformational. And this book, writing this chapter, allowed me, it gave me the courage to get up there and do that talk, because that talk was about my business, but it was not about business. It was about the personal aspect of how I came to be so passionate about inspiring people to be visible in the world. And the have, this book has been this chapter has been such a catalyst for me in making this transition to this sort of new way of expressing my message.
That's so beautiful. I didn't know quite all that. Well, thank
Me
you for
neither.
sharing that. So if I ever have a bad day, I can just come back and listen to this again.
Honestly, I didn't know that either until after I wrote the chapter. And, that's a powerful thing about this process. It's like sometimes you don't know. I did not end up with the chapter I thought I was going to end up with.
Same here. Yeah, when the publisher, our I'll call her editorial manager, um, she's actually a professional publisher that we hired, uh, asked me, "So what's the call of action in my chapter?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know," because I was so focused on everybody else and making sure that you all have what you needed that I didn't even think about my
Right,
own. And so when I did, and I had already previously written the chapter, I just kind of like scraped it aside. She said one sentence. Well, maybe if you bring it back to how you came to where you are today. And so, and it was interesting how even for me, it opened my eyes and showed me the roadmap that I'd been on my whole life that I didn't even recognize. I didn't even realize I had been on this path my whole life.
right.
So it's a real eye opener, isn't it?
It's a process. It's a process and an opportunity for transformation for sure.
Absolutely. So what is the title of your chapter?
The title of my chapter is um, Finding My Voice in I I mean,
Do
like
you want me to look it up?
I can tell you, I could paraphrase. It's basically how I found my voice in my personal life and in the world, and how I came to express that in the world,
Well,
in
and here
life
I
and
have it in
online.
print. It's
Okay,
called
give it to us.
Finding My Voice in Life and Online.
Okay, there you go. I
That's
know what the book is.
hilarious.
I know what the chapter is about.
Well, okay, let's jump into that. So, if your reader could walk away with just one message or insight, what would that be after reading your chapter?
Okay, that is easy. The message is that your voice matters. And I can tell you how powerful that message is for me, because every time I say it, I get this lump in my throat and I can feel my eyes start welling up, because so many people think, oh, everyone else is saying it, or everyone else is doing that thing, or I'm just this one person, or whatever that story is that you have. Each of us has an important message. We each came here where I always say, like, each of us is a spark of the divine in a body. And we each came here with a mission to make a contribution. And even though it might look like someone else's contribution, or you might not think it's that important, there's no level of more important or less important. Everybody has a mission, has a message. And then each of us, it's our job or whatever to discover who is the person that has that message for us, and who is that message going to be, who is that person that's going to need your message, and it could be a matter of life or death. So that is my passion, that's my message, that's why I do what I do, because each of us has a message that matters, and it's like it's time for us to get our message out for the healing of this planet.
That's so beautiful. It is. I mean, even for myself, I was recording the video for next year's book because, as we talked about earlier, this is a 5 years, 5 volume, 5 year series, and just how I'm evolving myself with the books. And one of the first lines I said is like, there comes a moment where you can't hide your light anymore, where your excuses and your fear is not enough to stop you.
Right.
It's like you just have to give up the fight, and
Right.
just start saying yes. And it's just mind blowing how doors open, people show up, circumstances, synchronicities just pull you forward. And for me personally, I feel like now I've stepped into a slipstream. And just in doing this project, as you know, we talked beforehand, all the creative things that are coming out of it
Right.
as a way to get the message. And I mean, when I think about when I was in my 40s, I was getting channelings or downloads, whatever inspirational packets of information. And I realized after about 2 months that, oh, well, maybe they're not just for me. And at that time, I was too insecure and had the story that I'm too insecure and who would listen to me and, just scared to death to be seen. And
Mhm.
so I turned down the invitation when Spirit asked, and it stopped. Those inspirational things stopped. So, that was almost 25 years ago. And when I finally said yes, it's like it just kind of came back in a vengeance. And I couldn't be more excited. And all those silly stories that you know, I'm always told that you're in the perfect place at the perfect time and that
Yeah.
those years weren't wasted. Um, but it's kind of like, it's just very exciting to have finally said yes and to be here on this journey with you and the
Mhm.
other authors and just the beautiful things that women are starting to do from all over the world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, same here, just even in the past year, I would say my life has changed 180 degrees and my work. I mean, I'm still doing the same thing. Or let me say this differently. I'm still sharing the same message, but it looks completely different. And if you would have told me a year ago I'd be where I am now, I would have said no way, you know. And I'm 69 years old and I like to share that because I'm still so passionate about my work. I'm still so excited. Anybody who thinks like, whatever they're thinking about age and winding down or any of that, it's like, no, man, we are just getting started.
We're the same age, and yeah, I'm just hitting my stride. I'm just getting
Yes,
going.
that's it. Exactly. Just hitting my stride.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what's next for you on this journey?
Actually, what's next is this chapter and this was another reason why I jumped into the multi-author book, is that this chapter is sort of a catalyst for me that I would like to write a solo book about my life. And so that's one of the things that's next.
Oh,
Another
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that to be published next year. That's my goal, but we'll see what the universe has in store. And my work with clients is changing. So that's been exciting for me, is that I'm doing a lot more consulting and coaching and helping people with their social media makeover messaging and with their done for you clients, and everything is just changing and I'm just loving it.
Well, that's exciting. If people are really resonating with you, how can they connect with you?
So they can connect with me on my website. That's wholeheartmarketing.com. You can connect with me on pretty much every social media platform, Diana Concoff Morgan. And yeah, I would love for people to connect with me. I offer free trainings every month and yeah, just, friend me on Facebook. or LinkedIn if you're there, or Instagram.
Well, we'll be sure to put those links in the comments below. But two, is a reminder that we're having our digital book launch on November 14th. I'm getting our first proof tomorrow on Friday. So the hard copy. So it's like giving birth. I'm so excited. And yeah, and come join us live for our launch party. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's on November 14th, and they'll be posting in the Women's Empower Network is when that's happening. So before we go, I have two questions. What would you say to somebody who has kind of been sitting on the sideline thinking about being an author and has not yet?
Okay, what I would say is that you can see I have, here's my books. I'm in two other multi-author books and my own book. And being a published author has truly catapulted my visibility. Opportunities have come to me because of the credibility, because of the visibility. Um, you know, so that's the most superficial surface thing. The the other thing that is a much deeper thing is that each time we write our story, whatever our story is, we learn more about ourselves. As I said, I didn't know what I was going to write until I got to the end of this book, this chapter, and it is such a powerful way to explore yourself. Plus, it's a powerful way if you're doing this and you have a business. It's a powerful way to connect with people, potential clients in a different way than just I do blah blah. Going to that deeper level of really writing about your story is a powerful way to connect. And if you don't even have a business, if you don't have a business, even so, it's still a powerful way to connect with people and to share more about yourself with people that you wouldn't share if you were just talking.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I know we could do this all day for the next 2 hours easy. But before we go today, so my final question is, what are some parting words of wisdom you feel called to share today?
Okay, I'm going to share that, but first I want to say one more thing about, for people who don't have a business, because a lot of times people feel like, well, I don't have a business, so writing a book, it's not that important. But for many people that I know, writing their book has created the next step for them in their lives. So I just wanted to add that because and maybe it's not a business, but it's been a next step. Maybe it's a cause, maybe it's a mission of some sort, but it is a way to take a next step, a powerful next step. Okay, so now maybe that's my parting words, but let me see if there's anything else. If there's anything else, I would say, yeah, I mean, kind of what I already said, which is that your message matters and take the leap and really stand in your own power in terms of knowing how important you are and how important your contribution is in the world.
That's so beautiful. Well, Diane, thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I'm looking forward to so much more.
Me too.